Welcome to the deep dive. If you're like me, you probably buy a $20 video cable, plug it into the back of your TV, and just totally forget about it. It just sits there.
Right. Yeah, it's doing its job in a very predictable little 3-foot radius.
Yeah, exactly. But today, our mission is exploring a piece of broadcast tech that completely obliterates that radius. Okay, let's unpack this. We're looking at the AJA FiDO-4R 4-channel single-mode LC fiber to 3G-SDI receiver.
That is quite the alphabet soup.
Right, it really is. But, it's basically a video converter box about the size of the deli sandwich. It weighs 0.8 pounds and is roughly 4.6 by 4 inches. But it costs $1,945. Why on earth does a box this tiny cost nearly $2,000?
Well, what's fascinating here is that to a broadcast engineer, $2,000 is actually a bargain. I mean, we aren't just talking about a shiny new gadget here.
Right, it's something more.
Exactly. This little box is a critical problem solver that exists specifically to overcome the brutal physical limits of live video production.
I guess that price tag starts to make sense when you look at the sheer geographical scale it unlocks. Like, my cheap TV cable taps out across the room, but this AJA box lets you run video up to 10 kilometers.
Yeah, which is 32,808 feet to be exact.
Right. So what does this all mean for signal integrity over that kind of distance? Like, sending professional video over copper wire that far would just be static.
It completely would.
Yeah.
Copper wires leak energy, and they pick up magnetic interference. So that is why this device converts the electrical video signal into light, sending it down a single-mode LC fiber optic cable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and single mode just means the glass core is incredibly narrow, so the laser light travels perfectly straight. That's how it reaches 10 kilometers perfectly intact.
So because it's using light, it breaks the physical electrical circuit.
You hit the nail on the head, and by breaking that circuit, it provides vital electrical isolation. It completely eliminates ground loop problems, which are, notorious headache in broadcasting.
Because that causes all that terrible audio buzz, right?
Yes, exactly. Plus, it perfectly passes vital SDI metadata, including HDR, without any degradation at all.
Okay, that makes sense for the clean signal. But there's a paradox here that's really bugging me. We are talking about shoving 4K or Ultra HD SDI across 4 independent fiber links.
Right, a massive amount of data.
Exactly. Yet the spec sheet says it only draws a maximum of 5 watts of power using 5 to 20 volts DC. How is it physically doing that much heavy lifting on 5 watts?
It is basically a masterclass in highly specialized circuitry. Instead of power-hungry processors, it uses dedicated chips. And in the real world, that low power draw is everything.
Because less power means less heat, right?
Precisely. It has this low-profile enclosure, and since it barely generates heat, you can cram these receivers into tight equipment racks.
Or the sweltering back of a production truck.
Yeah, or even mount them directly onto cameras. You don't have to worry about the box melting down mid-broadcast.
Here's where it gets really interesting. We've got a heatless, ground loop killing laser sandwich. But you aren't just paying for the hardware, you're paying for the ecosystem. If you source this from a vendor like HDTVSupply, you get a 5-year warranty.
Oh, absolutely, which is huge.
And the vendor itself has a 96% top-tier rating from its buyers.
Right, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, in high-stakes broadcasting, the support infrastructure is just as crucial as the hardware.
Because a dropped signal costs millions.
Exactly. Broadcasters are basically buying an insurance policy. Looking at the customer feedback, you see reviews praising specific service reps, like Rachel and Mike, for immediate expert troubleshooting.
Wow. So just to recap for you listening, we're talking about a massive 10-kilometer range, ground loop isolation, and uncompressed 4K capacity in a low-power, highly supported package.
It really is wild. And this raises a fun thought to leave you with. If a 5-watt box can perfectly transmit uncompressed 4K video across 10 kilometers today, how might this invisible, untethered infrastructure eventually revolutionize the live events you attend?
That is a great point.
Imagine a future where cameras are freed from the constraints of traditional wiring, able to go literally anywhere on Earth to capture the action.
That living room radius really is gone for good.